The breathing that I'm going to show you will help you with pretty much anything lung related, even recovering from COVID. Now let me start by saying that 95% of you there are breathing incorrect. I was a professional athlete and I was breathing wrong. What do we do when they ask us to take a deep breath? We raise our shoulders. Know that 4 to 6 of these shoulder raising breaths is the same as one belly breath, or as we call it, a diaphragmatic breath. The densest, most rich part of the lungs is at the bottom of your chest. Now when you have lung related problems, you might also be stressed out. I mean, come on, you know, if everything hurts in the lungs, you're stressed out. Let me tell you a story. When I was competing in Japan, and I would be in the dressing room, I used to do mixed martial arts, professional mixed martial arts, and I would get a little nervous. I would always calm myself down by humming. I would do, and I would focus on the vibration in my belly, and somehow that really calmed me down. Now, many years later, when I completely got obsessed with breathing, I found out why I was getting calm. I was stimulating the vagus nerve, the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve, and it's involved in nearly every physiological action in the human body. It does also the involuntary actions, like blinking, swallowing, hearing, breathing, all that kind of stuff, but it does a lot of other things as well. The way to stimulate the vagus nerve is by deep diaphragmatic breaths and humming, singing. There's some other things like splashing your face in cold water and a few other things. But let's focus on this, because unknowingly in Japan I was connecting two. I was connecting humming together with deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. Now it's important that you take deep breaths and longer exhales, and the humming really helps you with that, because you breathe in, and you focus on your belly to vibrate. So unknowingly I was stimulating the vagus nerve, and what happens when you stimulate the vagus nerve? Your heart rate drops, your blood pressure drops, and in turn your cortisol level drops, and that makes you calm and relaxed. Let me tell you another story. I was interviewed by Pastor Chet in Chicago, and he told me about his friend who laid in the hospital with COVID. His family members were already saying their goodbyes because they thought he was not going to make it. His oxygen levels were very, very low. Now, I talked to Pastor Chet about an invention that I had, a lung trainer device, the O2 trainer. We're not going to talk about this right now, but he asked me, he says, wait a minute, if you have that device, what if I give him that device? Will he be better? I say, you don't want to do that, because it will strain the muscles. Right now, he needs to calm down, he needs to relax and recoup. But what he can do is breathe diaphragmatically. And I will teach you how to breathe diaphragmatically. And I'm going to teach you guys a little bit as well. Now what I want to tell you is that the next day, overnight, he went from 85 on his oximeter reader to like 97. Overnight, everybody was blown away. And this was by just breathing correctly. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. Now let me get inside your head and explain to you how breathing works, because if you find out, it's mind-blowing, but it will open up everything and you're going to realize, oh, I've been breathing wrong my entire life. So your lungs don't do anything. They're just two bags. By themselves, there's not a muscle in your lungs. The way you open your lungs is by chest expansion. And that happens, inhaling, by the diaphragm and your external intercostal muscles, which are the muscles in between your ribs. Now the diaphragm is a thin dome-shaped muscle tendon which separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity, and it's attached to the bottom of your ribs. So if you walk your fingers down here, on the ribs, on the bottom, all the way to the back, along the spine, that's where the diaphragm is attached. Now the diaphragm drops down for the inhale. So imagine this. From that angle you don't see a lot, but this is what happens inside your body. It expands. That expansion creates a vacuum between the body and the lungs, and that vacuum will open up your lungs. So if you think about it, your chest doesn't expand because you pull air in there. If you put air in them, no, your chest expands, and that's how you pull the air in. Yeah, when I heard this the first time, it was crazy, but once you understand that, you go like, oh, wait a minute. I need to breathe diaphragmatically. Now, how can you check this? It's very simple. Breathe out, close your mouth and your nose, and try to expand your chest. Well, good luck with that, because that's not going to happen. Now going from chest breathing to diaphragmatic breathing is a very hard thing to do. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to belly breathing. Now belly breathing is great to get inside your head. And once you get that, then we go to the diaphragm, because the diaphragm, like I said, is located here. The belly is a little lower. But this is just a really great way for you to get inside your mind and to start focusing on lower breaths. Now the only thing you're going to need is a book and something where you can lay down, a couch, a bed, whatever it is. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so we're laying down and you put your book on the solar plexus. Doesn't matter what kind of book, doesn't matter how heavy it is. This is just for you to get inside your mind and to raise this book while you're breathing. So normally when you're chest breathing, see, it's not raising at all. Now you're going to focus on belly breathing. You can breathe in through your mouth just to get into it, you know, so you have a little bit more of a powerful inhale. And then of course, once you get everything, you want to start using your nose. It's always better to breathe through your nose. So there we go. Long inhales with even longer exhales will really fill up your lungs. Exhaling with power, squeezing your core, obliques, abs together, because those are your exhale muscles. And then you use your belly / diaphragm to inhale again. Now, why would I tell you first go for a belly breath and then later on we go to a diaphragmatic breath? I'm going to show you. It's going to show a little bit less of movement. This is a belly breath. This is a lot of movement. This is a diaphragmatic breath. Now I'm really focusing on the muscle here next to the diaphragm, which is at the bottom of your rib cage. But start one more time with the belly, because that will get inside your head. Once you get this down, then it's time for you to start diaphragmatic breathing. But this will be really good for you to do. Relax, and if you want, you can use the humming again, because that will really stimulate that vagus nerve and it will calm you down. So, somehow, when you focus on your belly to start vibrating, it gets you really nice and calm and relaxed. All right? Do this for 30 minutes and you'll see you're going to feel great. This breathing will really help you. Now, if you're not sick and you want to strengthen your 11 pounds of breathing muscles, the O2 Trainer, please look into this. Go to o2trainer.com, click on the tab Science, and there's a drop-down menu with all published medical journals, and that will explain what this thing does for you. It will bring it to the next level. Godspeed and breathe on.